All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining in on Three Sport Podcast today. Uh, this is a huge episode of the podcast for a lot of reasons that we're definitely going to dive into. But I'd like to start off by introducing my guest, Austin.
How's it going, Josh?
It's going great, dude.
It was a fantastic day this afternoon, wasn't it?
Oh, man. It's crazy how something can just turn your day from a downhill slope just straight up so fast.
The best part about it is you didn't even believe me when I told you.
Nope. It's because it was so out of the blue. Nobody would have thought about it.
And I should probably start by saying that I was wrong. Like I said last week, I was nervous about him not signing.
Oh yeah, just so you guys don't know, we're talking about Giannis signing of the 5-year Supermax extension.
Yeah, if
If you
you don't know, you
if you
you should
haven't
probably be able to figure it out. But
if you haven't figured that out, but yeah, we're talking about that. But anyways, continue.
yeah, this is probably one of the happiest I've ever been. Like like you even said, this is probably one of the biggest days. Like at work, you said one of the biggest days for Wisconsin sports. I mean, not a lot of players want to come here, let alone stay here. And to have Giannis sign the 5-year supermax, which is now the biggest contract in NBA history, pretty damn awesome. I mean, I understand it's a 5-year, but it also, I was reading, it does have an opt out after 4 years.
Yep, I saw that earlier too.
So, but
But he did say in his Twitter post, blessed to be able to be a part of the Bucks for the next 5 years. So I feel like he's not intending on taking part in that fourth year opt out.
mhm,
But I feel like that was maybe something that his agent constructed in there just in case the team starts to flop and,
right.
his agent's like, you know what, Giannis, get up out of here. Let's
Yeah.
go over somewhere else.
There was also a report that I was reading because I just before we got on that the Bucks actually would have explored um, trade options if Giannis did not sign the contract by the 21st.
That's
Which
crazy.
I can see why, because you don't want to let a guy like that walk for
Yeah,
nothing.
you can't let a guy like that walk.
But
It's hard to even think about what you could even possibly get in like exchange with Giannis because like this dude's a back-to-back MVP, and then in the same season he won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, and I'm also pretty sure he won NBA First Team as well, and possibly even All NBA Defensive First Team. I'm not entirely sure on
he
that,
was
but
he was all NBA first team back to back years and all NBA first team defense back to back years.
so that yeah, that's absolutely insane.
And then he's coming off the highest PER in NBA's history last year. So it's you would have never got anywhere close to as much as if you wanted to get out of Giannis, but this is big for the city of Milwaukee, the state of Wisconsin, but this is even bigger for the NBA in total.
Oh, it's huge for the NBA.
To keep a guy like, I mean, I understand keeping Giannis in a small market not desirable probably for the NBA, but it keeps the balance of power like neutral. He doesn't get to go sign with a team to make it a another Golden State Warriors
Right.
super team,
Yeah, exactly.
and this
Even
is just I'm so happy.
but now here's the way that I see it. Obviously, I mean, we knew Giannis wasn't gonna be leaving the Bucks this year because like he still has a year with them. But I'm almost curious now, like who's competing with the Bucks this year? Like
In the East
primarily
or
in the East.
NBA? You talking about the East?
Yeah.
Um, well, obviously, I think you're gonna have Boston and Miami's gonna. I think Miami's gonna have a better record this year than they did. You know, last year they're not going to be.
They got that squad developed now pretty well.
The only team that I'm questioning right now that everybody's giving praise to is the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, I was supposed to say that too. Yep. Dude, who knows? That coaching that is a three-headed monster of coaching over there in Brooklyn, and I think that could get pretty dangerous.
I don't know the biggest surprise about that though.
What's that?
I understand Steve Nash getting the job is big news, but to have your assistant coach be Mike D'Antoni, who came from Houston as the head
Well,
coach,
that's actually his
and they
secondary assistant coach.
is it?
Yeah, because his assistant coach is Amari Stoudemire.
Well, I mean, even to have him like he's not even the main head coach,
Right.
and he's coming off a. I mean, he was not a
He was,
terrible
yeah,
coach in
he was
Houston.
not someone that you would expect to be an assistant coach.
Yeah,
Like, that must be a sign. Like, he must have wanted to come to the Brooklyn Nets for a reason. Like, clearly he saw something in this team that he was like, man, I could be an assistant coach, and I think we're still going to be perfectly fine.
mm-hmm.
So,
I just wonder how uh, Kyrie and Kevin Durant are gonna mesh together because both those guys like having the ball in their hands. So, I mean, Kevin Durant obviously meshed very well with Clay and Steph at Golden State, but I think Kyrie Irving's no Steph Curry or Clay Thompson. So,
no. But it'll be very interesting. Oh, I forgot. So, okay, I don't know why, but on this uh Wikipedia site, it's not showing Amari Stoudemire as an assistant coach, but he is actually an assistant coach. But he also had, unless he was not an assistant coach, but he was just brought on to be part of Steve Nash's coaching staff. I'm not entirely sure, but like they have Mike D'Antoni, they have Royal Ivy, who's a former player. They have Tiago Splitter, who's a former player. They have Ime Udoka, who's a former player and former assistant coach for the Spurs. And then Jacques Vaughn, who I'm pretty sure was a head coach at one point. Yep, for the Orlando Magic from 2012 to 2015. So that coaching staff there is experienced on the court and off the court. Okay, so Mark Stoudemire is actually a player development assistant. So he's in there with the team. So you got someone in the back on the back like area. Mari Stoudemire working with the guys. He got Mike D'Antoni doing assistant coaching. Udoka, Splitter, like these other guys. It's like, man, there's that team. I feel like is built to succeed. Like for the meaning of, I guess, development and
yeah, I can really see
coaching.
Amari Stoudemire helping Jarrett Allen
Oh yeah, dude.
big
Like
time.
they have, who is it? Their big men are Jarrett Allen, DeAndre Jordan. That's gonna be interesting, and they have Nick Claxton as well. So
Oh yeah, I forgot they had Claxton who drafted him.
so that'll be really cool. Well, and even Tiago Splitter. Tiago Splitter was also a big man for the Spurs, playing
Yeah,
alongside Tim Duncan. So
not very big named, but you know,
now see that's the thing. Tiago Splitter, I feel like he's kind of underrated. Like he was never really good, but like he was always pretty consistent in what he did. Like he
he
had a,
was always there.
he had some six rebound per game seasons on 10 point, 8 point, but like he was a 5-time playoffs uh player, geez, with the Spurs because the Spurs were really good at that time. So he made it happen. But yeah.
You know what's weird to look at? So I have the Boston Celtics Philadelphia 76er preseason game on.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Doc Rivers on the sidelines as the Philadelphia head coach is just does not look right.
No.
That I don't.
Okay, so now that I'm seeing this actually, so Tiago Splitter is also a player development coach. So Tiago Splitter and Amari Stoudemire are both player development. Everybody else that's listed here as an assistant coach is literally an assistant coach. That's nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. They got some beef. Who's on the Milwaukee Bucks coaching staff this year? Anyone different?
I think they picked up
Nobody
guys
of
from the
name.
college ranks, but nobody like.
They still got Vin Baker, Darvin Ham. It's gonna be an interesting season now. Now that Giannis officially signed that Supermax.
This is. I cannot wait for December 23rd to get here. That's what is it? 8 days away.
What's the 23rd?
The Bucks' first game of the season. First regular season game of this.
Gotcha, against Boston. Yep. Their first home game is Christmas Day. That's gonna be so cool to watch. Giannis battle against Steph Curry at home on Christmas. That's so cool.
I hope that they bring out the city.
They
jersey
should, dude. That would be so smart.
Like we were just talking before we came on about possibly getting a Giannis city jersey. Oh, I want one even more. Did you see? So you know how James Harden's playing today?
Is he really? I honestly didn't even know that.
He looks like he put on a lot of weight.
Did he really? Houston Rockets, James Harden. 9 points. Wow, 2 for 4. Wow, he's actually somewhat consistent on shooting. That's very, very impressive.
Like the weird thing is there was a picture from him yesterday. I'm on Bleacher Report right now, and he looks like he's in great shape. And then there's a picture of him today, and he looks like he's in like 20, 30 pounds.
I just saw a highlight of him shooting a 3, and it's showing him running back on defense. Yeah, it looks like he did put on some chubbiness.
Maybe that's his
Harden's always kind of been like a little bit chubbier of a guy, but I feel like he's a little bit more now.
I think it looks like he is because of the beard.
That is true. It absolutely could be the beard. But who knows? Oh, I almost just choked. That was scary. So, oh my goodness. I'm looking at the Celtics 76ers game. Jaylen Brown is 1 for 11 right now. Oh, that's disgusting. But anyways, all right. So we've talked about what we needed to talk about with Giannis and the Supermax, and the Bucks going on. Hopefully the Bucks have a good season this year. I'm really hoping for it. Hopefully I can get to a game. Hopefully COVID doesn't trap me at home. Hopefully they make that possible. If not, watch it virtually, unfortunately. But
I want to say something before we quickly move on here.
Go for it.
I'm a little upset with Sinclair. I don't even know what they're called, but they're taking away the ability to watch regional sports networks like football, baseball, hockey. I just figured out it's happened a couple weeks ago that
is that just Fox Sports Wisconsin, or is that
it's all like regional sports networks like based out of like Fox Sports, not just like Wisconsin, but like you got Fox Sports Midwest, Ohio.
So is that like only for like certain like TV like cable type things, or
like how like the Yankees have Yes Network and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's considered on there too. So it's like we had Dish removed all the
Fox Sports
regional
stuff.
the regional sports. YouTube TV's now done it. Hulu's now done it. This is getting sickening because now I will not be able to watch any Milwaukee Bucks game that's not on national television. I was even looking up possibly getting NBA League Pass.
I have NBA League Pass. It's honestly pretty nice.
But it says that all the Bucks games are scheduled to blackout in my area.
Can't you watch it from the opposing team's view, though?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Because if I can do that, I will totally buy NBA League Pass because I don't want to miss a Bucks game this year.
That's actually a pretty interesting point. If anybody knows, because I don't have this issue because I have Spectrum, and so far we still have Fox Sports Wisconsin and everything like that. So
I wish I could get Spectrum, but it does not let me.
If anybody knows how to get past this without having to go get Spectrum, please let us know.
Well, I know you can like get past it with like changing like your VPN and stuff.
Well, and you can illegally stream it via a Reddit link, but
yeah,
obviously,
I don't
want to do that. Wink. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, League Pass is kind of nice. If it lets you watch from the opposing team's view, which again, I don't know how the blackout thing works. I haven't really dabbled in that, but
yeah,
guess we're gonna have to find out.
I tried looking it up, but nobody had anything to say about it. So
no, of course they didn't.
I guess I just get it and try it for myself. I mean, I can watch any game I want anyway. So
yep. All right, so moving on from the football or the basketball scheme of things, with the Giannis signing and everything like that, we are now going to be shifting over to football, American football that is, and we're gonna be talking about. I'm gonna start by I have a list here. I'm just gonna go off of ESPN's game by game basis that they've got going on here for me. Um, I kind of honestly, I really do want to talk about that Thursday night game. So I predicted in this Thursday night game that Cam Akers was going to have a good game, but never in my mind did I imagine this dude to rack up 171 rushing yards. Um, that Patriots defense is not horrible by any means, considering they literally shut out the Chargers 45-0. I mean, not
Well,
saying
then
the
they had
Chargers are a great team.
the week before that they held the Cardinals in 17.
Exactly. So Cam Akers, honestly, dude is starting to get in it on his own. He's looking very good. He started off the season very rocky, and I think that this is like these past few weeks he's been really good. He had 171 yards. He didn't have a touchdown, but last week he had 72 and a touchdown. And the week before that he had 84 and a touchdown. He also had 23 receiving yards this week, and he had 22 the week before. So he's getting in the backfield, like past run game a lot now, which is really cool to see, because they were running this split tandem between Darrell Henderson, Cam Akers, and I think their other running back was I can't remember, Malcolm Brown,
Yep.
and like Malcolm Brown would have a good game, and Darrell Henderson would have a good game, and then Cam Akers would just kind of slouch, and it was like so like this guy that was a rookie who was supposed to be super good is kind of just not doing anything. But now he's just came out of nowhere, and he's just being absolutely explosive, and I think that is very helpful for this Rams team to win games like this, because Jared Goff is definitely not a really great quarterback. He's good, but he's not like great. So
Yeah.
the fact that they can have someone like Cam Akers that can run the ball like he's been is
Mhm.
very, very clutch.
What happened to the Patriots that we saw that last week Sunday? Or not this
I
last Sunday, but like against the Chargers. You hold the Chargers to 0 points. Your running game is amazing. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say amazing. You had 165 and 2 rushing touchdowns, but
Cam Newton
shut
basically.
you shut out the Chargers, who obviously aren't a great team,
But they're
but
not bad. They're
they're a
not
high.
0 point worthy by any means.
Yeah, they're a higher powered offense. When ever since they had Justin Herbert in the lineup, mind you, he's had not so great of games the last couple of games, but to only score 3 points, like, this
Um,
is why, in my opinion, Cam Newton is no longer a valuable starting quarterback in the
no,
NFL.
no shot, no shot.
If I'm the Patriots, I do not re-sign Cam Newton to a new contract.
No, this dude's honestly pretty garbage. His best passing game that I'm seeing this season was
Week
week
two,
2 against the Seahawks, where he threw for 397 yards and 1 touchdown. And then again against Houston, he threw for 365 yards and 1 touchdown. Again, 1 touchdown is his maximum per game so far this season.
and
However,
he's over 300 or 200 yards 3 times this entire year.
yeah, he's got 451 rushing yards and 11 rushing touchdowns. So, like, I get it. Cam Newton's a running quarterback, but uh, quarterbacks pass the ball. You want to be a running back, be a running back. You know, like you got to play the position. Like Kyler Murray, for example, dude runs the ball a lot. Hasn't been lately because of his shoulder, but he's got 3,200 passing yards on the season, 23 touchdowns. That's literally almost double, even almost triple what Cam Newton has.
Yeah.
But Kyler also has more rushing yards and one less rushing touchdown. So it's like Cam Newton's just fallen off. And I'm not it's hard to compare Kyler Murray to Cam Newton because obviously they're two totally different people, but it's like,
Two
come on.
different body sizes too.
Yeah.
But I know I totally agree with what you're saying because it's just like everybody was hyping Cam Newton up after the first game and like, oh, Cam Newton's back. They beat the Dolphins.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
And
that
then
game. Yeah.
then he threw for 397 against the Seahawks, who now we've come to find out don't have a very good secondary this year. And he's
They lack a good
he
team,
is
to be quite
not
frank.
good. What's that?
They lack a good team, to be quite frank.
Hmm.
They have their ups and downs. They start off very hot. This week should be nothing to adjourn them. They played the Jets. Okay, Geno Smith was in the game, so yeah, it was one of those times. But this was a pretty interesting week for football. Um, People are saying Lamar Jackson pulled a Paul Pierce. Baker Mayfield had a very good game. Jalen Hurts led the cursed Philadelphia Eagles team to a win against the 10-2 Saints. Washington football team is still winning games.
That is awesome to see.
The Steelers lost again. It's like,
there's one big thing. The Chicago Bears offense and defense both showed up in
yeah,
the same game. What? Where has this offense and defense been? Like, they
well,
had a whole, like, the full 4 quarters. The
I mean,
first play of the game.
let's
See
be
the
honest,
first
their
play?
offense really wasn't there until the second quarter. Although the first quarter, I think, was the David Montgomery touchdown, right?
The first play of the game was the David Montgomery
Yeah.
80-yard touchdown. And then, like, what I didn't understand is Chicago kept doing the play action rollout. So they'd roll out either to the left or the right, and they would just run their tight end, or they'd have, like, Allen Robinson, and I saw Darnell Mooney on one of them. They were just running them out to the flat, and they did it like 6 plays in a row, and Houston failed to adjust to it. And Mitch Trubisky just picked them apart. I mean, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Mitch Trubisky, man.
Mitch Trubisky. Yeah. Mitch Trubisky looked
Roquan
like
Smith looked good.
we joke about Mitch Trubisky every Sunday. We say he's the greatest athlete to come out of North Carolina. But I don't know. Mitch Trubisky looked pretty good on Sunday. Surprisingly, for a guy that got benched for Nick Foles, who looked even worse. So that's pretty impressive. But there's a lot of interesting things that happened this week. We had a lot of flashback, like flashback to the past type situations happen. 2 in particular. We had oh, I'm trying to rack my brain trying to figure out what the one was.
AJ Green scoring a touchdown.
No, that's the one I know. AJ Green
Oh.
scored. Who else scored a touchdown? Someone else caught a touchdown. That's older.
Yeah, we said something about 20. I said something about 2013 or something like.
Is it T.Y. Hilton?
Alshon Jeffrey.
Oh, Alshon Jeffrey. Yep.
That's who it was. He finally
Alshon Jeffrey. Yes. Yep.
On his one catch that he had for the game.
I gotta say it. Even though the Dolphins lost this week, I really, really enjoyed football this week because Cam Akers, 171 rushing yards, absolutely beautiful. Patrick Mahomes throwing 3 picks, getting sacked for a 30-yard loss. Tua only throwing his first interception while still throwing for 300 yards. Loved that. The Bears offense clicking on all cylinders. AJ Green catching a touchdown. Kyler Murray finally starting to run the ball again. 136 yards receiving for Hopkins. Dalvin Cook had another 100-yard rushing game. Denver Broncos KJ Hamler had 2 touchdowns on 2 receptions, both like 30, 40-yard passes. Derrick Henry had an amazing game like usual, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, this guy's literally unstoppable. AJ Brown had a really good game again. Our guy Jonathan Taylor, Wisconsin represent, dude had 2 touchdowns. Absolute monster. Aaron Rodgers closing in on that, 40 touchdowns for the season?
39.
One more, and he's going to get it. And then you go to the Saints. Taysom Hill had 2 passing touchdowns. Like, how? But
loss.
The Eagles won off of Miles Sanders carrying them on the back with Jalen Hurts 100 rushing yards as well. Absolutely amazing. The Chargers bounced back out of nowhere and they
The
won a
Chargers,
game.
I don't understand. I stopped paying attention for a few seconds, like I was following the game on my my fantasy football, like on the ESPN app, and the Chargers had, what did they do? They punted or they threw a pick or something late in the game, like real late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and
I
then
didn't even
Atlanta threw a
realize,
pick, right?
and then yeah, I did not
Yep.
even realize that Matt Ryan threw his third pick of the game.
Yeah, I was watching that and I was like following because it was they were tied, right? Or was
Yep,
one
they were
team
tied at 17.
they were tied, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching and I'm like, okay, so Herbert throws a pick. I was like, okay, whatever. So Atlanta has the ball. And then I see Matt Ryan throws a pick and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like what? It was like less than a minute left, right?
There
Yeah,
was
there was
like,
like almost
I think
no
there was
time
less than
left.
I think there was less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was very short time. And then the GOAT Michael Badgley comes out and just bombs a 43-yard field goal as time expires and the Chargers win. It's like, where was he last week? But that's the thing, Michael Badgley, not a bad kicker, but maybe Anthony Lynn told them to suck last week. Excuse me. Told them to suck last week, and that's why. I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about there this week in particular. Kicking game, like in general. Mr. 36-year-old,
Oh, Mason
I
Crosby.
saw you post on that in your opinion deserves MVP. I understand you were probably joking about that, but
You know, yeah, not MVP, but I'd say, dude, Mason Crosby honestly should win NFC Kicker of the Year. He has
you
to.
have
Don't
on
even
the other
put
side of
Jake
the spectrum.
Elliott in
No,
the
no, no, no,
spectrum
no,
anymore.
no, no. On the opposite end of the spectrum, in the same division, you
You have
have
Dan Bailey.
Dan Bailey. That he seemed to forgotten how to kick a
Oh
freaking
man,
football. I was watching that Minnesota game, and I'm just like, you
poor
missed
guy.
what 2 weeks last week, not this last game, but the week before he missed 2 extra points and a field goal. This week he misses 3 field goals and an extra point. Like, talk about a rough couple of weeks for one of the he was the highest when he was with Dallas at one point, the highest like percentage in terms of making field goals in the history of the NFL. And now it's just like,
Dude, can we talk about this Washington football team defense real quick though too? Like,
yes,
wow. Like, I know that like Chase Young is good and all, but man,
defensive rookie of the year in my opinion.
dude had that one fumble recovery. He had 6 tackles. He had a sack, 2 tackles for loss, 2 pass deflections, 2 QB hits. And then you got this dude, Cameron Curl, 76-yard pick six. Dude also had 7 tackles on the night with a quarterback hit, 2 pass deflections. Like,
Well, then you also have Montez Sweat, who had 5 tackles, a sack,
well,
two
and with
tackles for
Montez
loss.
Sweat, what you don't see here is his absolute, like, ginormous impact he has with his pass rush.
Yeah,
That dude is so fast. He's so good at being able to just rush
that
the pass.
that front line is give that front line like 2 more years, and that is going to be probably one of the scariest front lines in football.
Dude, and it
And
sucks
they're
that
already
Ryan
really,
Kerrigan's getting older in age because he's starting to like degress his skill,
yeah.
but he still knows the game. So with Ryan Kerrigan out there, it's a little bit nicer too because you got him as well.
Just think that team is on a 4 game winning streak. They just took control of the division with the Giants losing. I Their offense is suspect. That offense is very suspect.
You know what other offense is very suspect?
Who's that?
The Baltimore Ravens, bro. How did they almost win? Or how did they like? They won a game, and they only threw 1 passing touchdown in the entire game, and it was literally at the very end of the
Well,
game.
you want to know how they win? You rush for 5 touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like Lamar and Gus Edwards both had 2, and then J.K. had 1. Like my goodness, I feel bad for Mark Andrews fantasy owners all around the world. Like
Yeah, he was
that's
on my bench.
tough. But then you have the Browns, and it's like I benched Kareem Hunt in fantasy football this week. Granted, my game didn't matter, and I played Curtis Samuel over him because I'm like, they're playing the Ravens. Ravens are a good defense. You know, he's not going to do very good. The dude had a touchdown rushing, had a touchdown receiving, so he had 2 touchdowns,
Mhm.
and he had 77 yards receiving and 33 yards rushing. So that there's 10 points, and then you have 12 points from your touchdowns. So it's 22 points right there.
And then
It's
if you're
like,
in a
oh my
and if you're
gosh.
if you're in a PPR league, you get 6 points for his 6 catches that he had.
Yep. Oh man, so that's 28. Yeah, I'm in standard, so he was 22 on my bench. But yeah, I want to give a huge shout out to the guy Baker Mayfield though. Granted, that was a huge game for the Browns. Baker Mayfield has been really decent this year. He's I feel like he's kind of settling these doubters down a little bit.
Lately, lately.
Yeah, he's had his bad games this year, but he had his 5 touchdown game. He had a 4 touchdown game against Tennessee. You know, this team is 9-4. I think this Browns team really could go somewhere, but it depends who they get seeded up against in the playoffs. That's really what I would say for them.
Well, Cleveland is having a really good year. Mind you, it's awesome to see a team like Cleveland, with a winning record. But I hope they would do good in the playoffs. But you got to remember, like everybody was talking, like Pittsburgh now lost 2 games in a row. They were 11-0, and everybody was like, "Wow, Pittsburgh hadn't beaten anybody good." Well, Cleveland hasn't really beaten anybody that good except for maybe Indy.
Tennessee's good. Tennessee's 4th in the AFC.
Oh yeah, I forgot they beat Tennessee. I forgot about that whooping they put on them in the first half.
Yeah, the 4 touchdown game from Baker.
Okay, well I take it back then.
They've had their games, but yeah,
But
like when they played Dallas, Dallas had Dak, didn't they? Yeah, they did.
yes.
Yeah, 502 touchdowns or 502 yards and 4 touchdowns Dak through that game. So that was a clinic. The Indy game, that was a good win. The Pittsburgh loss, obviously, yeah. The 5 touchdowns against Cincinnati. I mean, it's Cincinnati. Come on.
But then again, the Steelers beat Cleveland 38-7. They beat Tennessee when Tennessee was still undefeated. They beat Baltimore when Baltimore had like one loss.
Yep.
They beat Baltimore again, mind you. That was a crapshoot game, and they did just lose to a good Buffalo team. But I don't know where this offense for the Steelers has gone the last 3 games in a row that they put up less than 20 points.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to have all these playmakers on the field.
You know what I'm noticing looking at the Browns schedule for this year? Like, looking at what like Baker's like high receiving yard like people for the game, like you can tell why this dude's been struggling a little bit. You have Landry for 1, 2, 3, 4 of your games. You have Odell for 3 of your games. You got Austin Hooper for 1 of them. You have Rashard Higgins for 3 of them. Kareem Hunt for your most recent one against Baltimore. And then you have, I think it's Kevin Hodge. Nope, Kadero Hodge for 1 of them as well. And it's like that receiving core is very inconsistent, even though you have 2 very good receivers on that team.
They've actually looked a lot better than I thought they would look without Odell.
They have
in the lineup.
Well, I think that's because Higgins honestly is a very good talent, and he gets usage now with Odell out. And Peoples Jones, he's a quick receiver, so if he gets out there on the side and he breaks away, like that game against Tennessee,
a couple big plays the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that Tennessee game, he had a 75-yard touchdown.
I had to watch that replay of that play that he had that big touchdown on like 5-6 times because I'm trying to figure out how he got so he burnt the corner so bad because when you look at the replay, he doesn't look like he's moving very fast. He looks like he's running really slow.
Yeah.
But he somehow is able to
that play literally took 10 seconds.
Yeah, he broke free somehow so easily like that. I don't know what that corner was if he was thinking that there was going to be an out route right there, but he didn't look fast, but he still burnt him. That's the funniest thing for me.
And without going off of game score by score, there's some pretty interesting things that I'm noticing for like the news. So we got Henry Ruggs on the COVID list. Not sure how long he'll miss. Don't know if the Raiders are going to be a playoff team. I don't think they are, if I remember correctly. So he might be done for the season. Des Bryant's back. Guess he didn't retire.
Wait, he's not quitting this season?
No, the Ravens activated him.
Well, the Ravens could have activated him, but is he actually going to come back and play? Is the real question.
I don't know. I think he will because I don't really understand if they would activate him if
I mean,
he
they
didn't plan on
need
playing.
the weapons. I mean, they're not in the playoff race right now.
Right. But like you got that, and then you have McCaffrey, who's not gonna play again, which is very good for Green Bay, by the way.
Yep.
Very good for Green Bay.
Very, very good.
And then we're gonna take things down a little bit on a more serious note. We're gonna go down a little bit. Chicago Bears defensive lineman Mario Edwards Jr. has been charged with a misdemeanor assault.
Really?
Very unfortunate. Yeah, something that happened on October 17th. He was hit with some sort of charge. Apparently there's some TMZ thing talking about how he hit some woman or something. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm not gonna go too much into it, but it's there. Bears defense, come on. But I think another really big thing is Ronnie Jones. Ron Jones is getting a pin put in his pinky finger because he fractured his pinky early in the game in Minnesota.
Is he expected to miss time?
I don't know. They said that they won't know until later this week. They said he still has a chance to play.
So he's still listed as questionable.
Yeah, he'll probably be questionable. They play Sunday or do they play?
Yeah, they don't play. They're not the Saturday game.
So then
they play at noon on Sunday against.
They'll probably be Sunday, like game time decision choice. Unless Bruce Arians just says, we'll just throw LaShawn McCoy out there.
He actually got playing time.
Well, yeah, because Fournette was a healthy scratch, so
I was very surprised to see LaShawn McCoy running the football a couple times that game.
Yeah, LaShawn McCoy deserves it. He's still a pretty good dude.
Yeah.
Good guy, LaShawn McCoy. So I'm struggling because okay, how many teams from each conference make it into the playoffs again?
7.
Ooh, so right now the Finns are in.
I was just looking at the playoff. I was just actually seriously just looking at the playoff standings. And did you know that your team, the Miami Dolphins, have well, I'm not counting the Jets because the Jets haven't won a football game, but the 3rd worst strength of victory percentage in the NFL.
Wait, is that bad or is that good?
That is terrible. Their strength of victory is a 27.
Wait, so what does that mean?
That means, that means they're beating crap teams.
Oh no. That's what I thought that meant. Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Green Bay's isn't very good. I mean, then they're first in the NFC. Their strength of victory is a 388, but the Dolphins are sitting in the very last seed right now in the AFC, and their strength of victory is a 274. And they still have a team that you said you're not worried about in the Buffalo Bills week 17. You have a team that you lost to in week 1.
Bro, the Patriots are dog. The Patriots
you
are so
guys
bad.
Put up 11 points against the Patriots. And
bro, that was week 1. The team wasn't figured out yet. Tua was still on the bench. Brian Flores forgot how to coach.
I don't give a crap. And you also have the Vegas Raiders, who have put up 2 good fights against the Kansas City Chiefs this year. And have beaten the Cleveland Browns.
Here's what I see. All right, Dolphins injury report. All right. We got a couple of things we got to address here quick. So, there's a few things I'm a little worried about. That being my good friend Devontae Parker being questionable. He has a slight hamstring strain. So the odds of him playing are possible. But my good friend Mike Gesicki, on the other hand, this is probably the game for him to miss. Because, like I said, I feel like the um I feel like the Dolphins could really do good.
Without him,
Like I feel like they'll do fine. I mean, Mike Gesicki is very good, but I think they're gonna be okay.
you wanna know what else I just realized too about your Dolphins?
Uh,
Why do you say it like that? They also have the worst strength of schedule
yeah, makes sense.
in the entire NFL. They have the worst strength of schedule. I don't think
So
they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna make it. Sorry, Josh. I just don't think they're gonna make it.
so here's the way I see it. If Parker plays, if Landon Roberts plays, if Eric Flowers plays, if Kyle Benoit plays, if Salvin Ahmed plays, they're okay. I'd love for Myles Gaskin to play, but obviously he's got the vid-19, so he's out. Matt Breida's got the vid-19 or some other illness, so he's out. Preston Williams still hurt. Wish he was not hurt because we need him back bad. But I don't know. Here's what I see. Okay, if the Dolphins don't make the playoffs this year, say they somehow get beat out by the Ravens,
Mhm.
which is very possible. I think next year will be a totally different season.
Yeah, next year has a very
If
good chance to be a very different.
this is what they need to do, they need to sign a running back, like draft one maybe, like Travis Etienne or Najee Harris. And maybe if Albert Wilson and Alan Hearns would play, like not sit out because of COVID, like you guys get paid to play football, not sit at your house. Come on, like if those guys played, that's like they came
Don't
off
be
as very
mad at
rude.
them. They're trying to stay safe for their families.
It's just, man, there's so many of these people who are like out here like doing it. It sucks, but yeah, I don't know. I think if they had them, that they'd be very good.
I also think you're not in a very good division this year.
No, definitely not.
I mean, it helps having the Jets in your division, but never not like to discredit them. They're 8-5. They're in the playoff race right now. Playoffs were to start today. They'd be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in their uh, divisional game or wild card game.
Dude, I'm
So
looking at something very disgusting right now. I totally forgot that this happened. September 2019, they had a game against the Ravens where they lost 59-10. Oh, yikes.
what a difference over a year makes, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, RG3 and Lamar Jackson both threw a touchdown that game. And Josh Rosen had playing time in this game. They also had Alan Hearns and Albert Wilson active.
See, well, it doesn't matter if you guys have those guys anyway. You guys are still gonna get.
Okay, that's a different story, but I don't know. I think that it'll be interesting. I mean, sure, I'll be a little upset if the Dolphins don't make it, but I have to realize they're battling with the Baltimore Ravens right now.
Well,
So
you also have to realize don't be too upset because this team wasn't even expected to be in the playoff race.
that's exactly it. Yeah, they really weren't. They weren't expected to be
They
in the
were
playoff
probably
race at all.
projected to be another top 5 pick in the draft. I mean, mind you, they're probably like obviously everybody thought the Jets, the Bengals, Jacksonville were all going to be bad, along with I feel like a lot more people thought the Giants were going to be bad too.
Dude, you know
But
what's crazy though? With the Dolphins and the Patriots, their last 5 games have been the exact same result. Loss, win, win, loss, win.
okay.
That is very interesting. But then again,
This is a team that put up 3 points last week and then put up 45 the week before. I mean, which Patriots team are you going to get this Sunday?
well, yeah, the last 5 games, it was 23, 20, 20, 45, 3. The Dolphins, it was 29, 13, 20, 19, and 27. So the Dolphins have been consistent the entire time, essentially.
Yep. I mean, who knows? Maybe Cam Newton will come out throwing the rock and he'll throw for over 300. And actually, the weird thing is he doesn't have, to go back to Cam Newton, how we were ripping on him earlier. He doesn't have any targets to really throw the ball to.
Ah,
His favorite target right now is Jacoby Myers. So
I thought it was Demir Bird now.
is it?
Thought so. I don't know. But
It's not
still.
like it's not like he's got
That's his leader. 566 yards, 1 TD.
Well, Jacoby Myers has played 2 less games.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck this weekend though.
They don't have many like passing touchdowns or like receiving touchdowns
Well,
to wide receivers.
Cam Newton's thrown the ball 5 touchdown passes this year.
N'Keal Harry has 2, Bird has 1, Gunnar Olszewski has 1, and then their fullback has 1, and then Rex Burkhead has 3. So,
wow, James White doesn't have any.
no, neither does Dante Moncrief or Jacoby Myers or Julian Edelman.
Do you know what's coming? What happens this weekend too on Saturday? The number 1 team in the NFC plays the worst team in the NFC on Saturday. Green Bay against Carolina.
Wait, I feel like that's cap. Is Carolina really the worst team?
I looking at it right now. Carolina is, in fact, the 16th. If you're seeding 1 through 16 in the NFC, is the 16th seed in the NFC. They lose the tiebreaker over the Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons.
You know what I found out? That's just really unfortunate.
What's that?
So, the Dolphins have to win their game this week because the Ravens are not going to lose.
Who did the Ravens play?
They play the freaking 1-12 Jaguars, bro.
And you guys don't have. I mean, you have a big game left on the schedule too at the end of the season. So
I know.
And let's take a look at the Ravens. Who do the Ravens got? The Ravens have obviously the Jaguars. Then the week after that, they have the New York Giants. And then they end the season with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Bro, this is so dumb. The Dolphins start off with the worst teams and then they end with the best.
There's still a chance. You can't go out there thinking the Baltimore Ravens. Any given Sunday, have you heard that phrase before? There is a movie based on it.
No, I haven't.
Don't count out the Raiders either.
What's that?
They got some easy games left. They have the Chargers, the Dolphins, and the Broncos.
Oh, I'm not counting out the Raiders.
Even though they aren't a very consistent team.
Yeah. I don't know.
You still have a chance to get up. You still have a chance to get up to the third seed.
We'll see what happens. They just got to play good. That's really all that matters.
Yeah.
But hey, on the bright side, the Wisconsin Badgers basketball team is winning right now against the Loyola Chicago Ramblers, who are undefeated.
Turn that game on. So it was a lot closer there for a while than it should have been. Loyola was making it a fight. Now Badgers are opened it up to 16.
Yeah.
Double figures from Micah Potter, Brad Davidson, and Dimitri Trice. So,
dude, this Rockets team blows my mind how they are still playing PJ Tucker at the 4 now. So they have him at the 4 or the 5. I hate it. As long as he doesn't play the 5, I guess I'm cool with it. But come on, he's not a center by any means.
He's an undersized 4. He can guard 1 through 5.
He's meant to be a 3, essentially.
He's got the body of a 3, but he can guard 1 through 5.
Yeah. Defensive legend. But yeah.
I mean, I'd like to have a guy. I can't stand Houston because of one player in particular now because they don't have Russell Westbrook. But
James Harden.
Yeah. Mind you, did you see that James Harden put the Bucks on his preferred one of his teams?
Yeah, we were talking about that today.
I know. I was just trying to play it up,
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, but yeah, like we were saying earlier, I don't know. the way I see that panning out is James Harden getting in the way of Giannis, and then Giannis not being able to perform how he wants to, and then that causing issues. So I don't think the Bucks would do that unless Giannis wants him there. Then, but I don't know.
I don't. I mean,
They'd have to give for 100%. They'd have to give up Middleton, and then they'd have to give it up either DiVincenzo or I don't even know. They might honestly have to go up DiVincenzo, and then they'd have to go up DJ Wilson. Like they'd
this
have
is
to give up a
from
lot.
this is from NBAanalyst.net. This is the best trade the Bucks could offer for James Harden. It was Chris Middleton, Dante DiVincenzo, DJ Wilson, 2021 first round pick via Milwaukee, a 2023 first round pick via Milwaukee, and a 2025 second round pick via the Indiana Pacers.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know either because I'm a big fan of Dante and would rather when I get his jersey not have to root for him on a different team.
So on Twitter, somebody posted this picture of James Harden, and it's like Photoshop to make him look like he's got a really fat stomach. Oh man.
I wonder if that's got to be playing into the picture that I was talking about earlier.
The one where he's shooting a basketball with like a black like sleeveless shirt on, and then it's him walking with his red Rocket shirt on.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. Yeah.
And that's apparently only a day.
Yeah. Someone said angles. I don't know, dude.
So it doesn't matter.
But he could have been wearing one of those like that could be like one of those thinning like shirts.
Yeah. Or he could
Yeah, this is literally from a video posted on the Rockets Twitter on December 14th. Yes, like literally yesterday. That is weird. I'm so confused.
Yeah, because I'm watching his first team workout yesterday, and he looks like he's in really good shape. And then the picture,
maybe it's that shirt.
Today, it's got to be that's got to be that shirt that he's wearing. Is
maybe he's got like a flak jacket on under there. I don't know, bro.
Do you see him? Do you see him sitting?
No, I'm not watching the game.
No. I mean, like this season, if he doesn't get traded, do you see him forcing his way out and then sitting if he doesn't get what he wants?
I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, I would, if I was an athlete like that, I would never sit.
I wouldn't sit to my own regard. If the Rockets
love the sport of basketball as much as you would think that they do, why would you sit to try to get out?
Yeah. If the Rockets decide to sit him, that's on them. But I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know.
Dude,
I mean,
the Bucks
it depends on what they really want to get in return for James Harden versus what they will really be able to. Because I mean, obviously, if you're any team in the NBA, you want a guy that can go out there and score average over 30 a game. It's just, is it worth it? Like, because obviously, Houston's gonna want a lot. You tear down your whoever you have in the starting rotation, and obviously you're gonna have to get rid of some bench guys as well as future assets and draft picks and stuff like that to give up who a lot of people would consider who should be a two-time MVP in James Harden, but he is a walking bucket necessarily. I mean, the guy gets to shoot free throws when he doesn't even get fouled. So it's kind of one to think. I mean, if I personally wouldn't want him on my team, I wouldn't want to play with him. But
no.
I mean, he's a guy that goes out there and he does what he can to try to get his team the victory. So,
dude, someone posted this on Twitter. Oh, this makes me so happy. So it says, Giannis Antetokounmpo signed a 5-year, $228 million contract extension to stay in Milwaukee. Christian Yelich signed a non-year $215 million contract extension to stay in Milwaukee. The narrative that athletes don't want to play in Milwaukee ends today. Yes, that is very true. Get that narrative out of here, and let's welcome everybody to Milwaukee.
We can start welcoming some people to Green Bay too. Whenever Green Bay wants to start bringing in some offensive talent, even though they really don't need it. I mean, obviously they've actually. I was very surprised to look and seeing that Green Bay has scored the most points this season in football over the Kansas City Chiefs. I was blown away by that fact. So let me see here. I'll pull it back up. So Green Bay has scored 410 points this season. Kansas City, close second, 403. And people are, including myself, I'm not going to not throw my name out there, saying that the Packers don't, like, obviously they need another wide receiver. They, as great of a freaking wide receiver is, I think he's the number one receiver right now in the NFL. In Devontae Adams, you can't physically always rely on him, especially in the playoffs. But I mean, keep riding him until you can't anymore, I guess.
Yeah. Well, sticking with Wisconsin sports, some other news. Former Milwaukee Brewer Juan Francisco hit his number 101, 101st career home run.
Where's he playing?
In the Dominican Winter Ball League.
The name I haven't heard of in a very long time.
Yeah.
Simply because he wasn't really here that long, though.
No, he really wasn't, honestly.
Not a lot going on in baseball today. I heard Scott Boras must have been went off or something.
I saw something about Scott Boras. I don't know who that is, but I saw something about it.
He's like the number one agent for baseball players. He's the guy that tells his clients to sit out and wait till they try to get whatever they want to get, even though they.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, he's good at his job. He wouldn't be the agent of so many players if he wasn't. But
does you know how I said that Jalen Brown was 1 for 11 before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Taco Fall's 2 for 3.
Oh no, Taco Fall made 3 or 2 shots.
Oh, dude, I didn't realize tonight's Golden State against Sacramento. Ooh, that's an interesting game.
You gonna try to watch it? Watch your boy Tyrese play?
I'm gonna have to watch Tyrese play, man. I have it on. I have League Pass, so I'll tune in a little bit of it probably.
So yeah, that game is on TNT tonight.
Oh, it's on TNT. I can watch it on TV too.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, on TNT. Sacramento favored by 2. There's one thing I want to ask you. Going back to football.
Yeah.
We should start doing this with most of our, like football, basketball, baseball. Once like basketball and baseball start up. The team of the week. If you had to pick a team in the NFL this week that is your team of the week, who would you, or in football, who would you pick from this last week?
In football, who's my team of the week?
Yep.
I
think I might surprise somebody here with my pick.
Well, I know for a fact I know who you're going to say because you just kind of gave it away by saying that.
Yep.
For me, it's kind of a mix-up. It's either between the LA Rams or the Washington football team.
You got to pick one. You got to pick one.
If I had to pick one, I'd pick the Washington football team, to be honest with you.
Great pick. I love that pick.
Yep.
That was my second pick. Obviously, you know where I was headed.
Yep.
The team of the week for me would be the Chicago Bears.
Yep.
I mean,
rightfully
I hate saying it. I don't hate the Bears as much as probably a Packer fan would think, but it's hard to say that the Bears had a good week because I mean we all know the saying the Bears still suck, but last Sunday they didn't suck. So the offensively, defensively, all around. But I just figured try something new, maybe even with when the NBA officially starts like that too. So
Oh, and I forgot. So we had a question on our on both of our last podcasts. No, on our last podcast.
yep,
Um, so I'll it kind of ties in with this. I'm gonna let you kind of dabble in with this one.
okay.
So it says Nagy will be gone if they get rid of the GM. Your thoughts?
Uh, yeah, because last week we had talked about you had said that Doug Peterson's job was on the line, but
Yep.
you didn't say that Matt Nagy's job was on the line. You thought that was it Ryan Pace? You thought his job was on the line, the GM of the Bears.
Oh yeah.
Which that is where I think the comment is referring to that the um, comment from Matt, right?
Yep. Yeah.
The that comment's referring to if you think that Ryan Pace's job is on the line, then Matt Nagy's job is on the line too.
Yeah.
If they get rid of Pace, they're going to get rid of Nagy.
Makes sense.
And I was talking to my friend who's a Bears fan this after like on Sunday, and we were talking about the way that Chicago like offense has changed within the last few weeks when Matt Nagy finally gave play calling duties over to the offensive coordinator. I don't know his name. I apologize about that, but I was asking him if he thinks that Matt Nagy's job is become like after that game is safer than what it was. And I mean, it really all comes down to if they can continue to win games. And I gotta see if I can find what he said. Let me go back here quick because he had a really good point. I mean, he knows his stuff about the Bears. So if anybody has any Bears like questions, he like lives and breathes Chicago Bears football. Um, let's see. He said the offense worked back to back weeks and they started to build an identity, but you also got to remember the teams that they played. I mean, they played Detroit, they played Houston, but I mean, they finally put up 30 points in back to back weeks. They, I guess you could say the scheme that they were trying to run. He had said, he had asked me, do you think uh, if the Bears wouldn't have benched Trubisky, they would have figured out like this type of offense earlier in the year. And my comment to him was, well, they had 2 prior seasons to figure this offense and get it together before benching Trubisky for Nick Foles. And then they realized that that offensive scheme was not working under a different quarterback. So when they finally put Trubisky back in the starting lineup, they had changed up the offense to better fit Mitch Trubisky's style of play because Matt Nagy, because he's a disciple of Andy Reid, who obviously goes to show how great of an offensive coach Andy Reid truly is, because Matt Nagy was probably trying to run almost the same exact offense as Andy Reid was in Kansas City. Did not have the same kind of quarterback because at the time Alex Smith was the quarterback in Kansas City. But the short little rollout passes, you don't have to rely on Mitch Trubisky throwing the ball deep. You don't have to worry about the accuracy problems on a short pass. You get the ball out of his hands quick. You rely on David Montgomery to get you the yards. Do whatever you want with Cordero Patterson. I don't know what you want to call him. If you want to call him strictly a running back now. But you also have Allen Robinson on the team. What I'm guessing is this is his last year. I don't think they resign him.
Probably not.
But they have, I mean, Jimmy Graham looks good. in Chicago. A lot better than what he did in Green Bay.
Absolutely.
That doesn't look bad. But that's all I got to say. I've been talking crap about the Bears every time that we've done a podcast, so I figured I'd give them some props after a big win this Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. Guess we'll see how the Bears evolve as the rest of the season goes on, and that'll determine what happens with Matt Nagy and the GM, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Nagy's job is a lot safer than we say it every week, but Adam Gase, so
yeah. But anyways, so again, now to tune into another comment that we had received. So we had received another comment via our Facebook page, asking us if we would consider doing gaming tournaments or something. And that got me to thinking. So I brought this up to you earlier today, but I didn't fully expand on it. So I have the Xbox Series X with the 2K21 next gen game on it. And I on there they have like a certain like mode. It's called My NBA. It's essentially the My League like franchise feature. It's set up a lot more different now, so you can customize the amount of teams that are in the league and stuff like that. So if you can't fit all of the teams like players to the teams, you can do like a 10 team or like an 11 team or whatever. Like you can have a shortened size league for people, which I think is awesome. So like I was thinking what we could do is what I could set up like a I could like do like a screen share thing with my my game capture on my computer, and I could set up the game on my computer, and we could do like a draft on the game, and everyone could draft a person like as we go on by the round for their team, and then once we get to the end, you know, everyone gets to decide how they want their lineup to be, and then what we'll do is we will simulate it week by week, like and like we'll week one we'll simulate games. What we could do honestly is I could like instead of simulating, we can make it like real NBA style. Like we could have it on like the playing screen, and we can watch the games play out as if we're watching like real games happen. So like that was kind of my thought, was like you could like draft your team and then like see your team play out and like see what happens with that. I thought that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah. I don't mind doing that. Do that, or we could, if anybody actually wanted to hop in and like, we could get enough people to hop in and do like an actual like.
Yeah, I mean either way, or we could
Yeah.
do like a tournament or something, like not even like a franchise. We could do like a small bracket size tournament. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm down for whatever. If anyone wants to do something like that, like a tournament for 2K, MLB The Show, Madden, don't have FIFA, but I could get it. Um,
I haven't played FIFA in forever.
yeah, same. So essentially, that's what we came up with. So we got that's all we got for questions that were asked for us for this week.
I want to say thank you though to those that did read those two comments that we did
Absolutely.
reach out, giving us more things like topics to talk about, um, and like implementing possibly something new, like you just said, with the possibly doing a tournament or something like that.
Yeah, like there's endless possibilities for things that we could do, and sometimes it's just kind of hard to think about it, and it's better to have a second opinion. So it's kind of cool. That's why we ask you guys, if you're watching the podcast, listening to the podcast, whatever you're doing, um, we have a Facebook page. It's open for the public. Send us a message. Let us know if you have any statements you want to make. Um, if you have any questions, anything like that, or like if need be, comment on the SoundCloud page. You can do whatever. Just let us know. It gives us something to talk about, and it's kind of nice because that way, rather than just like hammering your head with like the recap of the games from the sports for the week, we can talk about other things that you might be interested in actually hearing about. So that would be pretty cool. So I think honestly with that, I think that might be it, because there's no developing baseball news that I can think of that's relevant. So
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on in the baseball world right now. Very much is quiet on the free agency front because
yeah,
a lot of team. Oh, there was one thing that came out today about the MLB season. It might actually get postponed.
I heard about that.
It
I
might
don't think that'll happen though. I don't know.
it might get pushed back.
They said
But
that last time.
that's because they want the players to get vaccinated
Yeah,
before, and I feel like most of the players would, you know, prefer to play a full 162 because if you think they're going to push back the start of the season, then they're going to be missing games again because you know how the MLB and like the Players Association
yeah.
constantly button heads. So
Rob Manfred likes to do that to make people angry. But yeah,
I think he's a worse commissioner than Roger Goodell, but
yeah,
you
he's
know
pretty
that's just
bad.
my opinion.
He's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There was a lot that happened in the NFL side of things this week. Obviously in the NBA side, Giannis signing the Supermax. Great day for everybody in Wisconsin, and great day for everybody in the NBA if you see it that way. If you don't, if you're a really angry Heat fan that would have figured that Giannis would not sign the Supermax and would go to the Miami Heat,
Get
that
over it.
sucks to be you. Get over it. Play with Goran Dragic, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo. I don't care. He's a buck. He's a buck for the next 5 years. If that fourth year opt out is a thing, he's not going to do it. Heat are not going to get Giannis, and if they do, it's when he's 50 and he's not playing in the league anymore. So get over it. But anyways, that's that's gonna end the podcast for tonight. I think we're gonna be back here again next week, or this weekend. I know we were talking about last week potentially doing a weekend podcast. Really depends if anything does come up. We will potentially consider it. But
Probably start it not this weekend, but maybe the next weekend when the NBA season's
yep,
officially.
I think next weekend, like Christmas weekend, is probably when we'll start it because the NBA season starts up. So that's probably what I would be thinking. So expect us back here next week, next Tuesday, and next Saturday or Sunday potentially. So, excuse me. So, we'd like to thank you guys for watching yet again. And for you YouTube viewers today, I do a video. So, there's that. Doesn't really matter, but I just figured I'd shoot that out there just in case you were watching and you were curious. This is just the logo. I just put that in the background. But yeah, for all of you podcast listeners on SoundCloud and iTunes, we appreciate everybody listening, everyone watching it on YouTube. And just so you guys do know that with the SoundCloud and iTunes version, those like literally go hand in hand. So those are done almost instantly after I finish editing. Those are like very quick to like those files are like whoop, done. Like they take just about no time at all. So that'll get out right away, and I'll have that up on SoundCloud and iTunes for you all to listen to. And I hope everybody enjoyed this week's podcast. I really also want to make sure that you guys like get in the idea of potentially leaving comments on the Facebook page and on the SoundCloud page as well. We do appreciate that. It's very helpful.
Mhm.
And I would again like to thank you, Austin, for coming into the podcast this week, as usual. Um, Eventually, we're gonna figure something out to potentially make this a little bit different, whether it's Zoom or we get some sort of setup going somewhere. We'll figure it out, but for right now, this is what we're doing, and it seems to be working pretty well. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that though. Um, Appreciate everybody listening to this podcast. Uh, and we're gonna keep going.
Yeah. Hope you all have a great week.
Yep. See you later.